I
Lord
like
Jesus. Hey, we here, y'all. Oh man, another week. Tuesday is in the building. We are here. Let's go. Fire for the Lord. Let's go. Nah, listen, man. Welcome to another episode from the Battle to the Glory. Yes, we are here. And listen, man, we got something good for you guys today. But before we get into our topic, you know what we do here. We talk about our weekend, how our day was going. Come on. Let's start with the ladies first. Let's start with the ladies first.
Oh, what? Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Oh, okay.
Because there's two of them on here. You didn't say which one you're going to stop with.
Man, either one y'all can talk
Always
first.
start with the guest.
Yeah.
It's always the guest.
But no. Let's correct that. That's why I didn't say yes. She's not our guest.
She's still a guest because she's not regular.
Rodney so is Rodney a guest? No,
Rodney is a regular.
Dr. Toya is my sister.
Okay, so family. How about that?
There you go. Bing. Oh, yeah. So, Dr. Toya, tell us what's going on.
Today is a good day. I'm like Ice Cube. Today is a good day.
All right. How was the weekend?
Our weekend was good. It was good.
Okay. Anything special?
No, nothing special.
Just
nothing
regular,
special.
Just regular.
Just regular smuggler work weekend. I had a chance to make a little bit of money, so yeah, that's the best part of it. Yeah.
All right.
It was not, it was not doing the what's that? The name that I always talk about. None of that. Okay, how about that? Twerking.
None of that.
okay. All right.
Valley.
Hold on, y'all. PG now.
And we bring it back. It always comes back to the valley.
None of that work.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, we all walk through the valley of P.
Oh, man. We in trouble now, y'all. Valley P. What in the world? Lady T, what about you?
I had a good weekend. It was really good. A lot of love, fun, laugh. I'm trying to get my heart into a happy place again. I'm feeling, like it's the springtime, got to blossom a little bit. So I'm trying to come out just a tad bit, not a lot, y'all, because you know me. I like to stay secluded.
You know what? I was going to say something, but Lord.
Yeah, Rodney, how was your weekend, Rodney?
Yes, Rodney.
I was waiting to see if he was going to forget about me again. You know how he like to do when Dr. Toya get here, he forget all about me. You know what I'm saying?
Rodney, cut that out.
It's all good.
I see it too.
I had an awesome week. I had an awesome weekend. I had all kinds of stuff going on this weekend. And it's crazy because I was like, Lord, give me the strength to make it through this weekend. And I had a lot of things that were great for the Lord and stuff like that. But I also went and played with my fellas playing poker. And I told the Lord, I was like, I'm tired, Lord. And he said, well, if you go play poker, you better not miss nothing for me. So I went and played poker. So I made sure I ain't missed nothing for the Lord. So our youth group went to a rehabilitation center and played bingo with the older people that were there. I met me a new booth thing, Miss Ava. I like to say shout out to Miss Ava, who was my new booth thing at the rehabilitation center because she wouldn't let me go. So we had a good time playing bingo. She touched my arm and was like, ooh. And I was like, yeah, Miss Ava, don't worry. But I told her I was married. I was like, Miss Ava, I'm married, Miss Ava.
Don't let your sister-in-law hear you say all this.
I'm married, Miss Ava. Don't worry about it. I came home and told my wife I had a reminder. I was like, yeah, I'm still hot out here in these streets. You better pay attention. So, So we had a good time. We had a good time there. It was my father-in-law's 75th birthday. We celebrated him. What else did I do? It was something else. And then went to church, had a great service at church, guest speaker and everything. So, everything was good. And then I had to go work 22 hours straight and did that. So, got to secure that bag like like Dr. Toya said, got to go get that money. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter came home, so that was a blessing. I got to hang out with a lot of family and things like that, and also hear how God is working in their lives. And it was just an awesome weekend, awesome time. Today I called Chef Dennis and told him I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was gonna be tired, but at 5:50, something woke me up out of my sleep and was like, get up, I got something for you. And then sure enough, here's Dr. Toya. So I know it's a great thing, man. I know I would have been mad. I would have been hot if I had slept through Dr. Toya coming to the show. So I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we're gonna have a good time and then talk about the Lord. So let's go.
That's it. Well, I had date one wife, men's ministry. It was great. It was great. Went to go see Michael Jackson. It's different. It was real different. I grew up with seeing Michael Jackson and everything. It was a good show. It was a good movie. I do recommend it. Go see it. But then I heard some stories about how Janet Jackson felt about it. But then once I heard her say her little piece, I could understand how she felt about it. But that's her feelings, and so I respect it. But the show was good. Went out with some of the fellas last night, and man, I got too late, man. I didn't even go to work today. I got home late last night. Yeah, but it was, what? It was good because my dad was with me. It was other brothers there, so just to be, in the midst of other men and just talking about God, just really like being intentional and just open. It brings me great joy to see that, and they're striving to do kingdom work, and so that's the good thing. That's what I live for. That's what I have a desire for, just to see other men come to Christ, but not just men, women, children, just come to Christ, man. It's something about that, that gives me joy, to be around and to see people. They're struggling, but they make that decision to live for God, and their desire. It brings me happiness, it brings me joy just to see that. And you can see the struggle, and just being honest about that struggle, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? They seeking out the Lord, and so that's the most important thing. I don't care, what your struggles are, but just to be able to talk about it and say, you know what, I'm going through this. How can I get through this? So that's how we here we are talking about overcoming temptation. And temptation is something big. A lot of believers, a lot of people of Christ, they fall to temptation, and then they don't forgive themselves. And so because they don't forgive themselves, they get into this dark place, and they seek out other things, other resources to fill them up with what. And so we're here talking about overcoming temptation. And so as we begin to talk about this, I want to ask you guys, in your journey, how did you, and still doing it, overcome temptation on a daily basis, whether it's reading the word, listening to music, whatever it is? Let's encourage somebody out here and let them know how some ways you can overcome temptation. So let's start with Dr. Toya.
How did I know you was coming to me? Listen, temptation it happens to everybody. First of all, we have to understand that temptation is not a sin. Jesus was even tempted with Satan, right? So it's a matter of how you if you come into agreement with it. We are tempted each and every day of our lives. We're tempted at the grocery stores. We're tempted at work. We're tempted because we work with the opposite sex all the time. We run into them all the time. But it's up to you to make a conscious effort, a conscious decision, a mindset, your mindset, if you want to either follow Christ or if you want to fall to this temptation. And don't get me wrong, we fall all the time. We're not perfect. The Bible speaks about that. If all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, right? So everybody has fallen into some type of temptation once in their life, twice in their life, 3 times in their life, on and on and on. But it's up to us to not stay in that place when we fall. It's not condemnation. The enemy wants us to walk in condemnation once we fall into temptation, right? And that is what Jesus died for us for. The blood of Jesus has covered us with that covers that nailed all our sins to the cross. So I wanted to do a shirt that said Jesus died for that. Whatever that is for you, he died for it. So that's when that temptation or that condemnation can be lifted off of you. So if you are faced with temptation, it's a mindset change. It's what you want to. You got to evaluate your life, right? If you at work, you get tempted with the opposite sex. Just say we all marry except for Lady T. So we get tempted with the opposite sex. We have to understand what the consequences are, what God has called us for, and what the enemy is trying to trap us for. And if we want to agree with that, come in agreement with the shortcoming, come and agree with the sin, come and agree with the consequences, then that's what is going to happen when you come into agreement with temptation. So I hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lady T, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Dr. Toya. I think of a temptation as something that we all have to look within ourselves to understand what we are still seeking. Sometimes it's a comfort, sometimes it's validation or escape, but temptation comes for a reason. And a lot of times it can come when a doorway is open, like, you're stressed, you're lonely, you're prideful, you're bored, you got emotional wounds, lack of purpose. There's so many things that can happen that brings temptation, but it comes. It will come. There's nothing we can do about it. When it comes, though, I feel like we all have to be mindful. What does it say? Watch and pray that ye not be in temptation. That is true. You have to watch and pray. You have to get into prayer. You have to get into a meditation. You have to have your mind set on a higher purpose, to get through the temptation, because there is something better on the other side if we don't go through that temptation and open the temptation door. But I think that is something that takes a lot of time. And, sometimes you might have to change your environment. You might have to set your boundaries. You might need to limit access. There's so many things that we have to take into account for. So watch and pray, in the scripture says, it is really all about your awareness of who you are, what you're doing inside. It's within an internal awareness of yourself, what you are seeking, what you are lacking, paying attention and praying on it, asking for guidance. And that is something that's very important, that we need to pay attention to ourselves, be honest, and then seek for an answer or a doorway out. And that is a daily thing. But there are times when the temptation is very strong. Strong temptations take a lot of fasting. I'll say fasting. Like, you might need to go into a fasting mode where you don't do certain things, where you change up your whole environment and become completely different just to get away from the temptation. You might need to get away from people just to have prayer for a good hour or two or longer. There's certain temptations that can really bring you back into wherever it is that you didn't really want to go. So prayer is very important. And I think prayer is just something that we do talk about the word of God, but when you pray and you want your heart and your mind to be set on what is higher than the temptation that is trying to trap you, I feel like you can go to God and ask for anything and he will provide. So.
Okay. It's real good stuff. What about you, Rodney? You want to say something, Dr. Toya? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going to piggyback on what Lady T was saying, because that was really good. Because that you have to pay attention to what's going on in your life. Like right there, I think she said that, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling rejected, if you're feeling, unhealed, angry, or anything like that, you have to pay attention to those types of triggers that's happening in your life, because temptation comes during those times in your life because you're feeling weak and your spirit is weak. Your soul is weak. You're feeling discouraged. You're in a low place. So sometimes temptation comes with that. And you have to be mindful what you feed, right? Because whatever you feed, it will grow. So even in that moment when you're feeling your lowest and, discouraged or anything like that, those are the times where, just like she said, you need to go into prayer, not into isolation. First of all, the enemy likes us in isolation. Why? So he can beat up on us. If we in isolation and we're not in a community of people, or surround ourselves with a community of women, or just like, Chef Dennis and Rodney, if they, surround themselves with men that will pull them out of the mark and miry clay, then the temptation would not be as easy at that time. So I just want to piggyback on that.
Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah. So it's kind of great we went into temptation. So I'm gonna start with, the better relationship you have with God, the more your heart and your thoughts will start to be like his. But like you said, even with that, the temptation comes in. I feel that my walk with God is very strong right now. But this week I had temptation that I was surprised. I was surprised at these two, because I thought this was something that I did not struggle with. You know what I'm saying? I openly talk about how I used to struggle with alcohol. Now alcohol is not a temptation for me. Like, it doesn't even hit my radar. But I did notice this week that things were coming at me that were normally, like, I never have an issue with it, but now I'm seeing I started noticing that it was just coming more and more and more. And I'm open. I try to be as transparent as possible on here, but it was pornography. And it was like my timeline just kept on coming with videos of things that I didn't want to see, but then again, I felt like I was looking at it too long. You know what I'm saying? and it kind of hit me, I'm just being honest. It kind of hit me because I never struggled with that. That was never a thing for me. Like, I never did that. Like, really, I never did. I'm not even going, but it just started growing and growing in my mind. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, this is different. This is weird. So, I mean, I just kind of feel like that temptation also reminds you that you gotta stay close to God. Even when you think you got it going on, like you think you good, you think everything is moving in the right direction, your relationship is great. It just surprised me how the devil will come with different and new things. Cause I'm over alcohol. That was my biggest issue. Now it's these other things that are popping up in my life that I have to be reminded that I need to lean on God on everything. You know what I'm saying? I need to lean on God on where my mind goes. I need to lean on God on these things that I think were not issues. And something came to me this week where it said that if the devil can't tempt you on one thing, he'll tempt you with something else disguised so that you'll fall back into that temptation. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just give you the thing that the guy said is the devil doesn't want you to pay attention to your children. And this was he was talking to women. He was like, if the devil don't want you to pay attention to your children, then he'll send you a man that looks like a blessing that'll keep you occupied and not paying attention to your children.
That's right.
And and these things, and it's just how temptation and things work. That it's not always up front. It's not always up front. Like, here's some liquor. You know what I'm saying? It's something else that then I go and I fall into that temptation, and then I just start sliding, and eventually I'm back to liquor. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that you just constantly reminds me that I have to keep sharp, keep tight, and keep focused on the Lord, on God, that he is the person there that I need for all these things. You know what I'm saying? Not just the things that I think are my weakness. You know what I'm saying? That because the devil been doing this for a long time, and to be honest with you, he's very good at what he does. So you gotta stay focused on the Lord, because because the worst thing you can think is think that I got it. You know what I'm saying? And think that I got it, I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you can't handle it. You gotta rely on him on all things. So, with temptation, it's definitely a reminder that you gotta rely on him with all things. Because like I said, I found myself struggling on something that I never thought I would struggle with. But it is something that you do have to go to the Lord and stay close to him, because as soon as you start putting your guard down, that's when the devil's sneaking through the back door. So
I just want to say this, Rodney, but
Mhm.
the good thing about it is that God gave you revelation on it. And so you was able to recognize the enemy, because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So he's going to use anything to get you to fall back, because you just got baptized, correct?
Not yet.
Not,
On the way though.
So-
It's supposed to be May 17th, I think is the date, if I remember correctly.
Maybe 17th. I'll be there.
Yeah, May
So-
17th.
So you done already made a confession
I'll
about
be
Jesus
there.
being your Lord and Savior. You're getting ready to make an outward impression, right? And so the enemy is trying to get you back where he had you before. So since he can't get you in, the alcoholism or drinking, he trying something else. And so, like you said, it's going to slide on back into the alcohol, because all this stuff is going to got a domino effect. But revelation, God uses revelation as deliverance as well. So that is deliverance comes in all forms. And I think I talked about this before, but revelation of your mind, making you aware of that, can help you get, walk this walk that you walk in. So that was good that he gave you that revelation. Yep. And discernment. Yep.
Everybody said something that was great and real powerful too as well. The one thing is that, like you said, Rodney, is staying connected, because as you stay connected with the relationship with God, you understand that the enemy is coming, and you have to know, just because guess what, and leaning on God and speaking to him, guess what, you ask him for a way to escape. Because when it's something is that that's going to lead you down a dark path, or is going to lead you down to destruction, God said he'll make a way and an escape. And you got to know that. And so, the enemy watches us daily, man, for years, seeing how he can attack, seeing how he can make you fall. So he watches those things, and everything that we every day, everything that we say, you got to be mindful of the things you say, because guess what? He hear those things. Lady T said it, but yeah, listen, he can hear what you say. So your words have power. You got to know that. If your words have power, so you know how to make the devil flee. You know how to speak to him. You got to be able to speak to him. And that comes with your relationship with God, understanding the word of God. And guess what? I'm going to keep on saying this: community, being around the right people, because guess what? If you're surrounded around people who's fighting, who's warring against the enemy, guess what? They'll see things that you can't see sometimes, because you're in the company of God's children. And so that's important, being around other people that's going to uplift you, that's going to pour into your life, that's going to help guard your heart, because you got to guard your heart. And so, they want the same type of people around you, yourself, and them as well. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to fighting. That's part of fighting off temptation. Just being being around the right community, and that's so they can help you understand what it is. Because sometimes your friends, your loved ones, they see things, if they're moving right, if they're moving in the direction of the will of God, then they can be able to tell you, look, I don't know about this individual, especially about going into relationships. You know what I'm saying? You got to value their opinion to the point where you know they want the best for you. Because some people will be like, oh, it might be jealous, you know, and jealousy can make you make poor decisions. And so it's important to have the right community around you so you can build up to be the best person you can be. And so, you know, I'm right with Ronnie. So I don't got no shame in my game. Listen, that's what I had a problem with. I got a whole wife. I had a problem with pornography. I had a problem with it. But guess what? God delivered me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like I could care less how somebody feel about what I feel. I'm trying to encourage, I'm trying to, you know, help them overcome that struggle, because that's a struggle for most men. They're not going to be able to talk about that. They're afraid, they ashamed to talk about those things. But guess what? It keeps you in captivity. It keeps you in bondage because you have desire for somebody else. You have a desire for another woman other than your wife. And so it keeps you in that mindset. It keeps you thinking and having this desire. But that's a crack the enemy can use. And so you gotta be mindful of the things that you watch, listen to. Those are the gateways to your heart. The things that you watch, the things that you listen to, gateways. And so guess what? And where is that at? It's on social media, where the enemy roars there. He put whatever he want on there. And guess what? He know how to get you. He know how to get you. It's got to be mindful. You got to watch those things. And listen, I'm gonna be honest and always transparent, because I want somebody to grow. I want somebody to understand that. Don't be ashamed to tell, look, I got a struggle here. How can I come out of this struggle? It's a temptation I have. How do I overcome it? Hey, how did I overcome it? I'm staying worshiping, praying. I'm around people that's glorifying God. That's correcting me. I love to be corrected, because guess what? When I'm wrong,
I don't know about that.
When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Straight like that. I'm humble enough to say, you know what? I might look my head down. I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I try not to be, but I'm not perfect. So at the end of the day, I don't want to be perfect. I strive to be perfect. I still got work to do. You know what I'm saying? I got work. We all do, but I'm okay with that, because my heart posture is changed. My mind has changed. The renewal of my mind is totally, like, I gave up a lot of things that I really like to do. I love playing basketball. What is it going to do for me? Nothing. I ain't going to the NBA. Huh? Who said again?
The video games. He heard you.
No, I really did. Somebody said something. You were saying something. She said something. Nah, the video game. I don't play as much as I do. I used to. No, that's the truth. You know, do I still play it? Yeah, I still play it, but not as much. You know what I'm saying? You know, I before we got on his, I was sitting there, meditating on the word, meditating on this right here, because guess what? It's a lot of people that sit in darkness because they're afraid to speak up, especially men. You know, we talked about I could talk about this. We talked about men growing up and their fathers telling them, don't cry. Huh? I didn't experience that. So but that is a big thing, where fathers tell their sons don't cry, but they show their sons how to, you know, yell at their spouse, curse at their spouse, but they don't tell them, oh, well, is it okay to cry, son? You having a bad day? And so men don't do that, and I wonder why. Like, you know, what is it really doing for a man not to show that, you know what, I'm hurting right now. I'm hurting. Yeah, I lost somebody, or I lost my job. So they go into this dark place, and next thing you know, they're not talking. They're in that dark space. That's how they fall.
Well, you know what? I think that's going a little bit in a different way. That wouldn't be temptation. But a lot of times, and I'm not a man, but I grew up, I have brothers, so I'm the only girl. So I grew up in a household with my dad was kind of hard. I think he was harder on me than he was for the brothers. I don't understand it. But you grow up in a house where, you always taught, especially men, not to cry. Even when my brothers used to get whooping, and they're gonna get me if they ever see this. Even when my brothers used to get whoopings, he'll tell them, "Shut up, I'm gonna give you some cry about." so that's what you used to, because that's what your dad said, because you crying, he say, "Shut up, so I give you something to cry about." So you like, you sucking it up, like, right? You sucking it up. So that's what you used to growing up. So growing up like that, as young boys and men, you're taught not to show your emotions, not to cry. So yeah, we're going to another topic, but
no. The reason why I use that is because just think about this. Listen, crying, right? If you don't release it, what does it create? That's why I said it creates a space of anger.
It creates unhealed trauma.
And then we talk about temptation. Guess what? When you don't correct that emotion, what does it create? It creates an atmosphere of anger. And then you strike out, and then you're easy to be tempted in anger, and you will fall to sin. Somebody instead of
I don't know if my dad telling me not to cry is making me fall to sin, but I think I get what you're trying to say. But
no, I'm saying when you just think about it. No, you really gotta let that marinate a little bit. Don't just react to it, because guess what? I'm saying to you is that emotion that you're not being taught, it creates an angry space.
So what you're not being taught is emotional intelligence. You're not being taught how to. There you go. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it seems like you're trying to attach one to the other, that's where I don't. It don't necessarily attach. But I understand what you're trying to say. But just to clear that up, I hope now we know better as adults that emotional intelligence is something we should be teaching our Black kids or kids, period, because the other cultures don't do that. So, but to go into just real quick, to go into the emotional intelligence, what you're teaching your child is to not address your issue. You can be upset. You can be sad. You need to address it and understand why you feel the way you feel. That's emotional intelligence. But let's go back to temptation, because I did want to go into what I think Dr. Toy and even Lady T, I think, said, and maybe Chef Dennis, is that the whole idle mind is the devil's playground, and or the devil's workshop. And I definitely believe that if you are not keeping yourself focused and not what's called that, the devil is constantly whispering in your ear. The devil is constantly whispering to you these things to, a lot of temptation didn't just start that day. You know what I'm saying? It started as small things and grew until finally when you commit the sin or you finally give in to temptation. You know what I'm saying? It isn't like temptation starts off as an idea, like it just comes one day and it's like, oh, today you're going to commit this sin. It usually starts off with smaller temptations and then grow. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to fight it off that the first time that it comes or the second time, but then it grows and grows and grows to the point, in my opinion, especially like when they say an idle mind, because if you have an idle mind, then when those temptations come, you actually take the time, in my opinion, you actually take the time to let that temptation stay in your mind, because your mind isn't focused on other things. Your mind isn't like, for instance, I'm talking about, the pornography. You know what I'm saying? It didn't start off then thinking about going to a porn site. It started off with me just scrolling through, and next thing you know, a video comes on and I stay on it for too long, and then now 10 more videos come on, and then, and then a week later, now it's starting to be normal. Everywhere I look, there's a video or something or a show coming on or this, that, and the other. And then I'm sitting at home bored. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, why don't you watch this movie? Why don't you watch that? You know what I'm saying? And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, I don't do that. That ain't even me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just how it works that, you know, I believe that the greatest thing, the biggest thing the devil tries to do is normalize sin. Mm-hmm. And make it seem like it's normal. Like, you're not doing it. You're watching it. Everybody's watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's watching. You're not doing nothing different.
You get a point.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, it seems, and that's how I believe he works. When no matter what the sin starts, it starts off small and then grows and grows and grows. And then he convinced you that everybody's doing it. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Just click the button. You know what I'm saying? It must be there for a reason, you know? So, I mean, it just becomes that, you know, that thing when it comes to temptation. You got to be careful and you got to not, like I said, that idle mind, because once you let that temptation stay in your mind, it grows. It becomes a monster. You know what I'm saying? So that little temptation could grow from one thing and then become a monster in your mind, in your heart, if you have that idle mind and you're not keeping it focused on the things that God has given you and provided for you and things that keep you focused on him. So that was just something I wanted to say about that.
I got a question for you, Dr. Toya.
Oh, Lord.
So we talking, right? And you want to stay on the topic. What have you encountered with and knowing that you've been tempted and you overcome temptation for you?
What have I? Are you asking me what have I been tempted by?
And you overcome it. I mean, in this walk, in your early walk, whenever.
I mean, it's a lot of things. When I was growing up, especially in my younger days, you know, when they was talking about P Valley, you know, and all that stuff. Right there.
I knew it was coming. I knew it, yo. I knew it.
In my younger days, in my heydays, listen. I used to use men like disposable toys. I did. Like,
hold on, wait a minute.
I'm saying now. Listen, I can talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Look, listen.
You asked me a question. I'm going to answer it. So that's one of the things that I used to do. I used to use because I was what my thing was is one won't, one will. So if one don't want to act right, the next one will. So if you didn't want to act right, I get another one. I was just dropping them. Hey, whatever. Okay. If I wanted, I was promiscuous. If I wanted some, that's what I was gonna get.
Dang.
And if that's all I wanted from you, that's all I wanted from you.
So let me send Mr. Dr. Toya.
Now listen, my husband.
You want to join Bible study with me, sir? To sound like you got something over there you might need to be praying for.
Now my husband knew me back in the day, so he already know. Okay. He knew me back when, because listen, I was light skin, long hair, big legs, cheerleader, majorette, all that stuff. Listen, I used them like disposable toys. One won't, one will. Once you mess up, I feel like you cheated or whatever, you talk to somebody else, I'm on to the next. That's how I used to do. So, but
so how you
delivered?
Okay.
So I had to start understanding who I was in God, really, and what I was worth. Right. This was still dealing with my worth, and that wasn't proving anything to me of my worth, other than putting a bad label on me, even though I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Y'all do it. Men do it, using women like disposable toys. So I was getting mine the same way as y'all was getting y'all's. That's how I was.
I don't know about all that.
Don't do that. Because before you got married, come on, don't do that. We're gonna be real now. Come on.
Be real.
I had my season.
Me too. I had my season. Hold on. But We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
I had my seasons.
I ain't gonna get into that right
I'm
now.
not gonna say that I was using them like Dr.
Yeah,
Toya.
I was.
Like
y'all
the
had notches
Dr.
on your belt. Okay, don't.
Dr.
y'all had
Toya had got a
conversation in
whole
the
new
locker room.
movement.
Don't
Hold
play.
on, I wasn't walking
Hey, you
around
know the
one
cheerleader-
will though.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you know that cheerleader man, the cheerleader, popular cheerleader man. I got her number, man. I'm calling her tonight. I'm going.
Oh, I
see
married her. It's all good. I married her.
you married the popular cheerleader.
Yeah, she was the captain of the Palm Squad. Yeah, I married that one. I got that one.
You
Right?
got that one right there. Yeah, see what you told your
Hey.
boys about, don't you?
Oh yeah, that palm skirt was doing his thing.
Hey, watch out now. Watch
Hey
out.
man, hey, that's my wife. I can say it.
Just watch out now.
I got a post on Facebook of just her palm skirt and said, "This is how it all started."
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Yeah,
PG though, man.
yeah.
Golly, man. We don't
Hey,
want to know
this is
about
how
all
it
that.
all started.
That's how it all started.
So
You made me
yeah.
forget what I was gonna say something before then, but
You were saying you was using men like rags. Go ahead.
and then I was I had my fair share of alcohol. I don't call myself an alcoholic. However, I did go through a time where Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's what I did. I was going to the club and the Blue Top. If y'all know anything about Blue Top, vodka, absolute.
Oh, okay.
That was my drink.
Okay.
Vodka cranberry juice, vodka pineapple juice. That was what I did. But like I said, I had to start realizing where my identity lies. And then I had children. So I didn't want my children to see me in another light. And I wanted better for them. Well, first of all, it was my first daughter. So I didn't start having other children till she was like 11. So when I had her, I wanted her to see things differently. I wanted her to view herself differently. And I want her to see her mom differently. So that's when I changed my mind.
So look, I want to ask you this, is that being that you lived that life, right? And then you changed and you was delivered from that life, right? How seriously, and this is a serious question, in your heart, once you renewed your mind and your heart, how did you feel? Tell people the difference. You was excited, you was doing you when you was living in that life, right? But then now when you serving God, the heart posture. Explain that. The heart posture of living a life like I'm doing whatever I want to do, and versus living for God, because there are two different heart postures in that. I mean, so I'll explain that.
So it had to come for a God ordained encounter. Once I had that God ordained encounter with God, you can't take it away from. That's when you experience God like you've never experienced Him before. Nobody take that experience away from you. And so that's when I started living for God, the way I live for God. I mean, and every year it gets better and better. He shows me different things. I've seen miracles. I've seen signs. I've seen wonders. When He starts showing you that and you start seeing that and He starts speaking to you and you start understanding that this is the voice of God and telling you things that you have no idea of, things, you start living your life differently because of that encounter with Him. If I'm making myself, if you understand what I'm saying.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, Doctor. I'm sorry. I got to say this real quick because me and my wife was talking about that the other day. That experience of actually like an encounter with God is crazy. Like it's so life changing. And the thing about it, I was talking to my wife. I was like, but it's all through the Bible. It's all through the Bible that when they had these encounters with God, that things changed. Like it was no way you could still walk the same walk after you've experienced His glory. Like, all the great men had some type of encounter with God where it was a real actual encounter. And I was like, and once you had that, I had that too. And once you had that, it's like it's such a fulfillment that all that is really what you've been looking for the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for all these things in alcohol, and I'm not going to talk for you, Dr. Toya, but in men and women, you're looking for all these things and all these things of the world. But when you have that encounter with God, it's nothing that can explain it. Like you just like, yeah, like I'm good. Like, you know, it was you finally get that peace you've been searching for. No, that was just fine. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So since you was talking, Rodney, go ahead. Like tell. Oh, wait, I mean,
What?
you've been talking about it.
No, I've talked about my encounters many times on the show. You know,
the temptation of, and you overcoming the temptation over your lifespan. You know, some of the things that you've been tempted by and you overcame.
All right, besides alcohol, I don't know. Yeah, besides alcohol, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, I had my time of women before I met my wife. Matter of fact, when I met my wife, I decided to stop because I had my grandmother. When I met my wife, it was the perfect storm of I was done with that life. You know what I'm saying? My father died when I was 11. During that time, my mom had lupus, and they ended up putting her in the hospital because the stress from lupus had her reacting, but they thought it was psychological because back then they didn't know much about lupus. So my mom was gone too for a while. So it was just me and my brothers were doing drugs, alcohol, all kinds of stuff like that. And that was a time where I was going through women left and right. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, when I got about 15, I would say 15 until 17 for a 2-year span, I was running through every high school. I had somebody or 2 or 3 in those high schools all around the place. As soon as I got that car, I was able to steal a car. I was going to people's houses. You know what I'm saying? And when my grandmother passed away, and then, you know, I met my wife and stuff like that, I had got tired. I was like, I'm tired of this life. Like, this ain't even it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even fun. Like, I used to tell women that I was 2 different people. Like, I had a twin brother, my brother Rodney and Robbie. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, if you ever see Rodney with this girl, though, that's my brother. Don't mess with him, blah, blah, blah. I told all kinds of stupid lies. You know, it's high school. This is for social media. So you get away with the dumbest things. But yeah, girls used to fall for all that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but when I met my wife, I was tired and I was done. And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. And, you know, that was just something that I changed. I definitely changed my life. And my wife did not make it easy. She was not if she had gave it up to me quickly, that relationship wouldn't have lasted either. You know what I'm saying? Because that was not what I was looking for. But the fact that my wife was a PK, a pastor's child, a pastor's kid, and she did make me wait. She did make me work for it. She did make me do these things. And at that point in time, they weren't making me work for it. I was getting it, meet you that day. You know what I'm saying? Type situation. So, you know, she did. And you know what? It was something that she was different. And I was for it. So yeah, it became that thing. So I don't know if that's overcoming temptation. I guess that wasn't a good idea. I don't know. Let me think of something else. My bad.
Lady T, what about you?
Wait a minute for Lady T say something. I know, but I wanted to say this before I lose my thought, because I was going to do this before you asked me a question. Social media, you know, when we grew up, we didn't have all of the social media. We didn't have all of this different Bugs Bunny. We was looking forward to Bugs Bunny on Saturday morning and wrestling on Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. Now you got all kind of stuff on social media that's causing temptation because it's coming through your eye gates, right? All kind of TV shows. You know, you can see all the gay relationships, the sexual relationships, all of this stuff is at your fingertips now. Even with our children, they're watching this stuff because it's on social media. It's on these shows. I mean, every show that you watch now has a LGBT, ABCD, something in it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's now more prevalent. You can see it. You can, so whatever you give your eyes attention to, the temptation is going to come. So even though, you know, Rodney, you don't look at, you know, pornography on everyday basis, or you never had that problem. Now it's all on the screen, right? It's just on a regular TV show. It's the Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine, all these reality TV shows. It's all about, sex and sex sales and all of this stuff. So it's easier for temptations to come now. It's at our fingertips. It is what it is.
Devil has more access.
Yeah.
No, but
Devil have more access.
Hey, Rodney, but I ain't gonna say Rodney. But guess what? You can have control of that too. Now I ain't talking about you. I'm scratched that because I said your name. You can have control of that because what happens is I'm piggybacking on what Dr. Toya said. Then I'm gonna let you go to Lady T. Look, if you watch a lot of things on TV, ordering things, guess what? They prompt social media, the algorithm based on what you watch. And so when you watch a lot of Christian religion, I promise you, they're gonna prompt you, they're gonna put that in there. They're gonna throw something in there a little, but it'll be an overflow on faith, religion, God, Christianity, whatever. Anything that's dealing with faith, it will overflow your algorithm in anything that you watch, whether it be on TV, your cable, even in your cable. If you think about your cable has providers, and the things that you watch, guess what? They'll start putting little ads about certain things. If you notice, like the movie show on Chosen, right? If you start watching that and you constantly watching that, it's a series, and guess what? It'll start in your algorithm, and then everything, your phone, your cable, your computer.
Yeah, until you watch another video for 3 seconds too long.
No, that's how
what happened to me.
Right, that's what happens. So look, once they catch your eye on it, right, and that's the same thing. Once you start looking at more than, like you said, more than 2 minutes, maybe it'll start creeping right on in to your social media, creep right on in, and so you got to fill it up, like we said earlier, fill everything up, your heart filled with God. I mean, I know it ain't that easy, but like I said, I'm living for God, and I have fun. I live my life to the fullest, with family and friends. But go ahead, Lady T. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear y'all, and I'm totally in agreement. For me, alcohol was an issue in the past. Now it's not as bad. But I will say for my temptation has been spending that money. Spending. I got a spending problem. So
I need some money.
Yeah, I'm not. I spend. I don't give like to the needy and everything. So
okay, we're gonna go on the trip. We're gonna go on the trip. Then we're gonna go on the trip. Then come on.
No, for real. I do. I have a spending problem. It's not a problem. It is a temptation of wanting to. Social media. Everything is out there for you to buy. Like there's so much that you can buy nowadays that can be so great for you, right? Because we're so into technology and gadgets and stuff. So I have a spending, and like I said, it's not that bad. My house and everything is in order, but I would like to stop, spending money. I want to have a comfort in what I already have and be okay with it, because I didn't need all that stuff before. So why do I need it now? It's a temptation to just buy. And I have a problem with that. That's for real for me. And I feel like, JC Jerome, thank you. You brought it back up to me. Also, I was going to say, I have a temptation of coming out my mouth and cussing folks out. And I'm trying.
Hey, Rodney, chill, man. Yo.
I'm sorry. That was hilarious. My bad.
So I'm just like JC Jerome. When he said it, I smiled because that was exactly what I was going to say. I have a problem with my mouth, and I've been always told, people be like, it's your delivery. And I'm like, okay. So that's why I said Jesus is love. I am really trying to learn Jesus' way and be more loving with the words that I use, how I communicate. I want to be more loving, but I do have a temptation of blurting, and I will come out the mouth real quick. So I'm learning to have more, patience. I'm gonna call it patience, but by just listening. I got 2 ears, 1 mouth, so I'm gonna use my 2 ears more often. So that's a temptation of that I'm working on is mouth, and I'm getting better in all these things, y'all. Like I think y'all agree with me just a little, right? Just maybe.
You got. Well, I know you. So I know.
You had me on alcohol. I don't know about the cursing one, but I mean, you know.
No, you like Rodney. Oh no, Rodney.
I will continue to pray for your deliverance, lady.
Rodney, you guys. I got to use my power.
I ain't scared of you.
No, I'm for real. No, Rodney. I ain't talking about like that. Seriously, I'm saying. I'm telling y'all. For real.
Lady T know I'm playing with her,
but
man.
her mouth, like seriously, she has controlled it. Like she come on here, and you guys don't know. She do. What?
I really do. I want to.
She come down here every time, and she maintain her mouth because she got. I ain't trying to put her on blast, but she do. She does. When we out here, man, she'll say whatever she want, and not like nice way. But and it's a good thing that she able to do that here. You know what I'm saying? It's not like because I'm for real. I'm so serious. Like seriously,
I believe you.
And I'm definitely I'm so happy that she be able to do that because some people would be like, well, you know what? I got a potty mouth, and if you don't like it, oh well.
Yeah,
she wasn't like that.
She
could have been, but she like, nah, you know what?
I was like that, but I started seeing that it's not Jesus like, you know, that Jesus wouldn't cuss everybody out and just ignore them. So I'm like, I'm gonna learn. So
that was Peter, not Jesus.
Exactly.
Hey, JC, you right, brother. I know. I watched them too. You right. Probably on my boy JC. That's right. Yeah, get him.
What?
Read what he said. He said, I've been taking notes, Rodney from
Rodney. Yeah, he gave me a compliment.
You've been patient with people, bro. You wasn't like that. Don't act like you was. We'll go up top on them.
I was worse than Lady T. That's why I did.
So yeah, he said he taking note. You was
Lady T, 2 birds from a feather, but it's still all in my face. You'll see my face. I may not say nothing, but you'll see my face.
Rodney, I'm running to the smoke. Yeah, okay. God said no more.
Now I learned that some things ain't worth discussing. I just keep moving. Like I ain't even got time for that. But you know what I'm saying? But
let me add something. So I think that our environment really matters, right? Our environment, where we put our mind in our life. You know, let's say you're in an environment where you got a whole bunch of friends. They want to, go to the club. They want to go to the strip club. They want to do all these things. Sometimes you might have to leave that area and go somewhere far away if you cannot avoid that temptation. And it's really hard for you. So putting ourselves out of the environment really does matter. And so for me, I'll say for me, when it comes to the spending money thing, it has been like, I have to stop doing I'm not looking at TV a lot. I know y'all think this stupid, but I'm not looking at TV a lot. Okay.
I do not.
Okay. I'm glad you understand. You understand. So there's certain things I have to, train myself to not do anymore because I have to remind myself, you don't need to buy that. You don't need to buy that. Tell yourself no on that, And so what I'm looking at, the ears, what I'm paying attention to with my eyes, ears and hearing, like everybody, we all talk about the TikTok stuff that's out there. Everybody got something TikTok, oh, you got to get this, you got to try that. And I'm really avoiding it. So I'm doing my part, y'all.
Now listen, I understand that, Lady T, because I got a real Brahmin problem. I love Brahmin. Yes,
what is a Brahmin?
It's a purse.
Oh, okay.
It's a person. So every time yes, she knows what I'm talking about. It's a real Brahmin problem. So like I have several Brahmins. Yeah, I just got one for my birthday.
It must be so expensive. I don't even know what that is. I'm about to Google that.
They're not so
expensive. I heard of Birkin, but not a Brahmin.
No, it's a Brahmin. It's a Brahmin. So just look it up. It's Brahmin. So anyway, I like the Brahmin. Then I just saw one on TikTok, a pink one. So I sent it to my husband.
Y'all about to go shopping.
I was like, choo. Now they got Afterpay and Klarna.
No.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
What
Wow.
the world? Hey, this is
So I have to do the same thing, Lady T.
Okay.
I have to say, listen, I don't need another Brahmin. I
Mm.
don't need another Brahmin. I have Brahmins in there that still have tags on it
Oh,
that I haven't
yeah.
even carried.
Mm-hmm.
Because my husband know I like Brahmins, so he buys Mother's Day. I get another Brahmin. Birthday, I get another Brahmin. Christmas, I get. So I have all these Brahmins. Not bragging or anything, but that's what I like. He knows what I like.
Give them away.
Yeah.
He knows what I like.
Give to the needy, right? We always
Give 'em
talk about
away.
give to the needy.
Oh,
Give it to the
man.
needy.
You give your video game away. You give your
Exactly.
video game away. I give my promise away.
That was good.
Watch this. I do have grandchildren, so when they come over, they
Oh
have
no,
a
no,
system
no,
they can
no.
play.
I got
Nah,
grandchildren. I got a granddaughter too. She like
So
playing with
give a
I'm
Bromber.
gonna play this. I gotta play this back to my wife because she got a spending problem too.
So I try. Listen, we got Amazon.
Yep.
I have an Amazon package at least once or twice a week. Okay,
Mhm.
Fashion Nova, Shein, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know. I have to say, just like you, I don't need this. I don't need another.
Yeah.
That's that temptation you have to fight.
Yeah.
That is a temptation, especially for women.
Yeah.
Men, y'all like shoes. My husband likes shoes. Every time I turn around, I get
I had to
I'm
cut
not
back.
sure.
a Nike
Yeah.
in my
I-
door.
I'm a what Lady T though. I got
Yeah,
lots
see?
of sneakers. I had to cut back though. I've been to that because and the only reason why I did is because wifey's like, oh, you just bought a pair of sneakers. I don't want to hear this. See, I ain't with all that. I'd be like, all right. So, see, my dad wasn't no temptation for me. I'd be like, all right, I just don't want to hear that. So I'd be like, all right, I ain't bought a new pair of sneakers in almost 2 years.
Mm.
I get number. Hey, Dr. Toya, I got a lot though.
Oh, okay.
He said her went,
I got a lot.
Well, I gotta pray for Dr. Toya, Lady T, and my wife. And I hope y'all all get delivered because me and my wife, we trying to move, and I'm trying to get her to get rid of things, man. That you should see that it is the saddest thing ever to watch her try to get rid of something. She will say, I'm giving it to the thrift store, and then she'll give it to the thrift store and go buy it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'll be like, it looked good on me again, so I bought it back. Yeah, her and her mother, both of them, give stuff to the thrift store and then go buy it back. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. And talk about purses. My wife in her office, she got mantles with purses on them, like little things where she got her purses and stuff on there. And then I did Chef Dennis, you saw the video of me talking about my wife's things my wife need to get rid of.
And then some of the stuff, y'all, is super.
Yeah. Like if I see one more leopard, anything, a leopard jacket. She got a leopard jacket, leopard sweatsuits, leopard this, leopard that, everything leopard with the matching shoes and the matching this, that, and the other. This is supposed to be about my temptation. Let me not keep getting myself in trouble. Yeah, you know. But I need to make a new video because I found more stuff, you know, since we've been moving. You know, she got, you know, a Benz or winter clothes. Let me stop. All right. Anyway, we're gonna go back to what was my temptation. Let me think of something.
But JC said it though. Like, just think about, you know, how you was before you came from the battle to the glory. How your response was like you was always like, yo, what? Nah, you were sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? Still a little bit sarcastic, but you I'm being like, come on, we can't be real with each other. Like, we got to be real. Like he was sarcastic in the beginning. Like,
I call it honesty.
Nah, I wasn't no honesty. It was real sarcastic. And some of the stuff he said, it's like, what you want to do about it? Like, yeah, okay, I said it. What you gonna do? But you know, you can see the transformation because he came.
That was my philosophy. My philosophy was, if you ask me the question, I'm gonna give you the answer, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? So that has changed. My philosophy has changed. Those things have changed. I now don't just. And a lot of times you ain't have to ask me. You know what I'm saying? So
you would just give it.
yeah, just free willy dilly. You just mind your business. You know, like Chef Dennis, I love her to death, but you know, it was like that in my life everywhere. Everybody can catch a stray. I ain't care.
I know.
I got something to say, you gonna hear it. You know.
That's how he
But-
was in the beginning. Well, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy, oh Lord,
But
Jesus.
you know, love is great. God's love and mercy is fantastic. It changes. It makes you want to walk different, talk different. You know what I'm saying? It makes now instead of using my tongue as a weapon, I try to use it as a love. Use it with love. You know, I've been working on cursing for 2 years now, and I think my boy actually, one of my best friends said something to me the other day, and he was like, because I said instead of the F word, I changed and said fudge or something like that. And he was like, yo, good job. And I was like, what? I didn't even pay. He was like, good job, because normally you would have said the word.
Right.
And then I was like, and then he was like, but if I had said something to you, if you had said the word and I said something to you, then you probably would have ended up cursing me out too. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So,
Hey, Rodney,
yeah.
but didn't that like as I hear you talk, right? But that's a good thing, you know why? And Dr. Tory probably gonna agree with me. LAT is that notice that person is actually watching you, and they acknowledge that they see the change, and that's a good thing. That's a real good thing, is because when somebody could tell you that, it's like, yo, I see you, yo, you ain't say that, and you. And so you know, just to hear that, man, it's just like, you know, for others that don't realize that, you know, your growth, so people watching you, you know what I'm saying, and you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for your own walk, your own progress, and so, you know, that's a good thing, man, for real, that is. I just wanted to say that, man.
Man, I don't know why I can never accept it when you try to give me something.
I really don't know why, because I so love you, like, for real, like, I just, you know what I'm saying, I just do, man, like,
I know.
Hey, look, hey, watch this. I seen a video of Dr. Toya put it on, and she was talking to other women that they weren't there right there. She was like, sisterhood, right? Yo, it's a brotherhood, bro. It's like, that's it. And I know she feel the same thing. When you see somebody transformation and it's walking the same walk you walk, it's nothing but joy. It's nothing but happiness. And that's it. And I don't gotta scold you or nothing. You older than me. It brings me happiness, bro. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm 49.
Yeah, then that is not true, sir.
Oh, I'm older than you?
Yeah, you older than me, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I thought you was older than me.
But I ain't trying to say I look old. Nah.
No,
Miss
I didn't
Ava
say
still
that.
like me.
No, but that's for me, man. Everybody else is different, man. I got a different love, man. My heart posture is different. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just so different. I want to, Lady T, you say it all the time, right? Love, love, love. That's it. I get upset. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I get upset when people don't want my love, because it's genuine. Like,
you got a thin line between love and judgment, sir.
Huh? Okay, here we go.
I'm just being honest. It's a thin line between your love and judgment, bro.
Because
He's
I
making
want
a
to
good point.
Huh?
He's making a good point.
Because I tell you the truth. That's love. That ain't you can't. What you do in your life, that go for anybody. What you do in your life, if it don't line up with God, it's wrong. Period. You got to be distinct. You have to distinguish that. I'm here just to tell you, I don't think that line up with God. Now, if you don't receive it, I'm not gonna get mad about it, but I'm definitely gonna be able to tell you, like, look, that don't line up with God. But I'm gonna say it to the individual in a way where I'm gonna say it in love. And if they don't receive it that way, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's just agree to disagree and keep it moving.
Wait, well, hold on, wait a minute. What you say about that, Dr. Toya? Hold up. What you say about that?
Oh, Dr. Toya gonna agree. Go ahead. I already know this.
Agree about what?
The thin line between
The
love
thin
and
line
judgment.
between love and judgment.
Oh, watch this. Judgment. No, Dr. Toya, what you gonna say?
I'm sure Dr. Toya has witnessed your thin line between love and judgment.
Because I'm being honest and truthful. That's judgment.
Let her say something, y'all.
Oh, okay.
I ain't saying nothing. No way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, in the Bible, there were judges. You do know that, right? And they were set to judge the people of God.
And none of them was named Chef Dennis.
No, they were not named Chef Dennis. However, if you are a child or a son or daughter of the Most High God, you are, I won't say you're a judge, we are just telling you what the word of God says. Now, once you tell them what the word of God says, it's not up to us to judge your life. Now, if you ask us, we give you the word of God and conviction falls, then that was the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, because it's the Spirit, not a ghost, but the Holy Spirit. Okay. So sometimes when you give people the word, when they ask and their life is not lining up with the word, they take you as judging them. And that's not necessarily true.
What about when you ain't asked?
Well, that's different.
What about when you ain't asked? They just
that's
feel
different.
upon themselves to come tell you what you doing wrong, as if they not sinning too.
Right.
But
That's not
nobody. I don't think. To be honest with you, I don't think anybody goes to a person that's following Christ and just go to them and tell them they doing wrong. I don't believe that. They don't. When you talk about and going to church, you're in church. You're going to hear that. That's the place where you're supposed to hear that. But no Christian is going to you and say, "Oh, Rodney, you're sinning and you're going to go to hell." Nobody coming to you say that. No Christians is doing that. You in the space and they're saying
Christians
that.
who do that.
No, but you're in the space. You're in that space though, and they're telling you or saying it. You're in that space. So guess what? Now they feel the need. You don't know. The Holy Spirit might be telling to say that. Like me, if I get on the bus and I say, and God tell me to evangelize on the bus or on the train, guess what? I'm saying to people, turn from your wicked ways. And guess what? Whatever that is, they know what it is. Turn from your wicked ways. And then now I go into scripture and say, turn from your wicked ways, because that's not of God. That's not judging them. That's me speaking the word of God. That's it. Now, like she said, if they're convicted on that and they get upset, just think about this. When you talk about the word of God and it gets under the person's skin, guess what? It should not, a Christian or a believer, it should not bother you. But when it bothers you, that's something you should really look at and reflect on. Why is this person saying it? Is it something that I need to change about myself? But when you look at it from a judgmental perspective, then guess what? You really got to look at it and say, you know what? Is there something about me that I got to change? Because that rubbed me the wrong way.
Or should you say, why did it rub me the wrong way?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, first of all, none of it rubs me the wrong way. It's just how you say things. You know what I'm saying? But we've already talked about this in the past. I'm not going to beat a dead
horse.
Yeah, I was going to use something sarcastic, but I tried to change it at the end.
Yeah,
okay.
I said,
but I was going to, go ahead. I ain't going to anyway.
You got him.
Listen, I want to say this too, and I know, Rodney, you don't necessarily believe in prophecy, but a lot of times God reveals things to people through prophecy, because He said He reveals His mysteries to His servants, the prophets. And so a lot of things that you deal with, God reveals it to an individual, especially that person that's trying to minister to you. And sometimes they come across because God has spoken to you. He don't have his delivery right too. So he'll just come. Oh, you got something to say?
No, I wait till you're done, because I just want to clarify something when you were done.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But I was just saying that God reveals to people how to minister to other people. And sometimes he deals with the shortcomings or what the person is dealing with in order for them to get delivered.
Gotcha.
To let you know that you're on the mind of God. So go ahead.
I got you, Dr. I just want to clarify, it isn't that I don't believe in prophecy. I do believe in prophecy. And I do believe that people do have a prophetic, it is possible. I do believe there are people. What I don't believe is self-proclaimed. That's what I don't believe. If you lead with I'm a prophet and this, that, and other, and I'm this and I'm that, then you lose me immediately. If you got something for me, then it should be something that God has already said, and you are confirming it. You know what I'm saying? Like I even talk about the lady. There's been several times that people have come on here and given me messages that I do believe were prophetic messages. So I do believe in that, but I just don't. If you come in the room,
pathetic, just like you was getting ready to say. Some messages are pathetic, not prophetic.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. If you come in a room like that, but like I said, it was a few weeks ago. We had a lady that brought up me and dreaming out of nowhere, and she had no idea that I struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? And it was I think over a year ago, we had a young lady on here that was talking about how she left everything to do what God told her to do, and God was telling me to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on that mission now. I quit my job. I'm selling my house. I'm moving to, because God has been telling me to do that for a long time. So I do believe that these things do happen. You know what I'm saying? My pastor's wife has told me, given me messages, but it's not, when I just don't, I'm a what is it? Cynical, I think is the word or whatever. When people just come to me and they be like, my name is Bishop Minister Blow Pathetic G's of all Christ Nazareth, God of second or what you call it, and I got a message for everybody in here. I got a message for you. Get a message. You get a message. You get a message. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pat you on your head. Bow, fall in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah.
Turn around and jump 3 times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting money, blessings, money. But give me 10,000 first. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm good. I just don't.
Yeah, don't people like that's false. You know that. You laughed about discernment. You got discernment on that. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's one of your. I feel like that's one of your gifts right there, because when the foolishness come, you be like, yo, I'm good, I'm straight, because you ain't coming to me prey on me. But I ain't got to go there. I'm not even gonna go there.
It's all good. We supposed to go back to temptation. Let me get back on temptation. What is it?
Hey, listen.
Another?
Huh?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of too many more temptations.
I mean, look, temptation is temptation. You gotta know. You gotta know how.
But go back to my first statement, which was that increase when temptation comes, increase your closeness to God. Increase talking to him, increase all these things. So I can only talk for me, but the more time I spend with God, the more he shows me, the more he reveals. And I think even Dr. Toya said, the more you get to see God's glory and things like that, those things fall off. Like, those things no longer become important to you anymore. Like even Chef Dennis, video games used to be important to him. You know what I'm saying? And now it's less important. Things that used to be important to me, going out drinking, having a good time. I used to always got to be the party or I went to my nephew's wedding, and I did drink and I had alcohol, but it just became less important. Then afterwards, I even felt bad about that. I was like, because I gave alcohol to other people because I was like, I got liquor here. You want liquor here? You know what I'm saying? But then afterwards, I was like, nah, that's not even me anymore either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the guy, because I used to be the guy I came in with 2 handles. I got 2 handles of the good old premium vodka. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna have us a good time. You know what I'm saying? I used to be that guy. And when I went to the wedding, I thought I still had to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? But then when I was there, I was like, yeah, this don't even, I don't feel the same. Like it's not even me no more. And I had a conversation with my wife afterwards, because my wife was like, and my wife is my biggest supporter and my biggest critic. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but you hear that, Chef Dennis, supporter and critic, not just critic. But so, it was so when I came back to her, she didn't have to say nothing to me. I came back to her and I was like, yeah, you know what? I didn't feel good about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't even me. I'm not even excited. We ended up leaving the party early, which was something I never did. I closed the party down. You know what I'm saying? I didn't leave until the bar was empty, but we ended up leaving early and going out to dinner, and it's just, the more time you spend with God, the more things, those things that used to be important to you no longer are important anymore. So, Dr. Toya used to had them line up at the door
Hey, man, stop going back to that.
Line them up. Line them up.
I had him line up the door next. She was in that joint. Yeah, to the left, to the left.
You don't want to act right? Go on. Get on somewhere.
But we talk. Look, real talk though. We talk about temptation, right? How do our faith grow without temptation? We got to be tempted.
But sometimes some people don't know how they are tempted. How do you know if it's a temptation? That's what I want to say. Like some people don't even know, like if it's drawing them away from their values, their purpose, their discipline, their peace. Some people don't pay attention to temptation as it being a temptation.
Give us an example. Give us an example.
Well, let's go back to the devil. The devil makes it seem normal. You know what I'm saying? Like you think it's normal. Like forever, like I thought drinking was normal. I thought every family did it. There's people that grow up that their father curses their mother out every day. I have a friend that told me he thought his mom's name was B. He was like, he thought, and then when he got married, he walked around and called his wife that and had to learn that was not normal.
Hold on, hey, Ronnie. What you just said right there, but I beg to differ, and I'm gonna show you why I say I beg to differ. It's because when a child sees a father cursing out his mother, he don't go to school. Then again, he don't go to school and curse out the teacher. You know why? Because he knows it's wrong.
Teacher ain't his wife.
No. But
the teacher ain't his wife.
I told you, feel what I'm saying? It's something that look.
But there are kids that do curse.
I said there are some kids. That's what I said. There are some that do that. They see it at home and they go to school and do the same thing. But I'm saying about the ones who don't go to school. They see it and then they grow up with that behavior. They know the difference.
How about this? Even Lady T not Lady T, Dr. Toya brought it up, which is homosexuality, the LGBTQ. They're making that seem like it's normal. It's normal. Like it's okay. You have to accept it. That's what they're making. That's the whole agenda right now is like you have to accept it. If you don't, you're sinning. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't accept it, then you're the problem. You're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the devil does. It normalizes sin to make it so that you think that you're just I have to accept it. Everything is telling me. There's a basketball player that lost his contract just because he said he did not want to wear the LBGT colors on at his job. And he lost his job. Like that's how the world sets you to think that it's okay.
You want to hear something crazy? That you said that, right? That's crazy that you said that, right? But look at other players. You think they standing in the gap for him? No, they not.
Because they like that paycheck.
Because
no, but guess what? If they stood together, the group of them stood together, a lot of those NBA teams will lose money. If they stood on that alone, like Lady T said, they standing on that money. Their morals have pushed aside and say, you know what, that's his personal thing. You know what, I'm not entertaining that. But at the end of the day, it influences how many people. How can it change lives if they stood together? But they didn't. They said, you know what?
But we going back. I'm just going back to what Lady T was saying. Is that sometimes some people don't think that. Like I have to deal with these conversations with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Where things are my daughter. They told my daughter she couldn't be the manager of the girls basketball team because she wasn't gay. You know what I'm saying? Like the world these things are out here in the world where the devil tries to normalize things and make it seem like
she said say that again, Rodney. You said your daughter was what?
They told my daughter she could not be the manager of the girls basketball team because she was not gay.
And did you? And you know what? If that was me, I would go to the school and we gonna have a problem. We would have a problem. That's just me. We would have a problem.
It wasn't the coach that told her that. It
we
was
would
the
have a
girls
problem.
on the team.
We would have a problem.
It
Wow.
wasn't the coach that told her that.
I got you. We would have a problem.
It was the girls on the team. No, I told her that wasn't where she needed to be.
True that. True
What
that.
do you mean? Like,
I
no.
just-
That's
Why
her.
would I
That would be
fight?
an environment she would
Why
put
would I
herself in.
fight? Why would I fight to put my daughter in an environment that you don't need to be in?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not gonna go up there and fight that. Nah. I
Mhm.
told her that is not your environment. That it, that is what the world is, but that's what the world's doing. That's what the world is convincing people that if you're not for this, then you are wrong,
Right.
which is not true.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is not true. So, hey.
Stand in the wind.
Mhm.
Stand in the gap.
But I mean, it's like that in everything. Why do you think there's a liquor store on every corner? Why do you think there's now a tobacco, weed spot, every other corner?
CBD.
Yeah, CBD, all these things that they're trying to normalize. My daughter told me that you can get weed delivered to your school through Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
Wow.
It's legal. Not what you mean? The dispensary, Lady T. The dispensary. They
I
deliver
mean,
that.
I didn't know they deliver. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they deliver.
But to people they're not supposed to be delivering the kids. And not on school. I remember when schools were supposed to be drug-free zones.
Hold
But
on. High
they're
school.
still 21 and older. It's not like alcohol, right? It's all
No, yeah.
18, right?
18.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
18,
I
I
think it's
think.
18. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
It's
Oh no,
But-
no, no. But hey, Rodney, when they deliver,
Yeah,
they
no.
got a card reader. So they don't if they don't have no ID, they can't get it. They
Right.
gotta have
Oh
ID.
no, my
Just
daughter
like
got
alcohol.
it. It was delivered, 9th grade.
Yeah,
bro.
they gotta have
No, it
Oh,
was
that's
delivered,
how
9th grade. It wasn't a CB. It wasn't a dispensary. It was a
Right.
dude
Oh,
with the
oh.
Instagram account.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking it was a dispensary.
Oh.
Okay.
Nah, it
was
wasn't a
neighborhood.
dispensary.
Oh, okay, it was a neighborhood guy. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying how access it is. They make it seem like it's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is normal and it's okay. And what you call it? But that's the greatest trick that the devil does. That's the greatest thing that he does is he normalizes sin.
But look,
And
Yeah.
let me say something, Rodney.
Yeah.
There are people that do marijuana regularly and they have no issues. They're very, coherent and with the world and in life, and they're successful and stuff like that. And that's normal for them because
Yeah.
that's what they do. I think of Snoop Dogg, right? I always remember back in the day, he came on the scene. That's all he did. And still to this day, he does it, right? And he makes it seem like it is his way of life and it's all good. That's why I'm like, some people, functional alcoholics, I'll
Yeah.
say.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say that. I just put that in.
Right. It's called functional, right? It's a functional way. And they are functioning
Mhm,
like a normal person. And it's
mhm.
not a temptation in their mind. It's not a temptation. It is a normal thing because
But-
they're functional about it. They're not sloppy. They're not.
No,
I was
one
a
thing-
functional alcoholic.
Okay.
No. One thing I could say though,
But-
you're absolutely right. The one thing I could say about that though is that guess what? They still can be altered under those conditions. Even though they're functional, they can be altered. Their thinking can be altered.
Well, for me,
Drinking
I
that-
believe that everything when it replaces God, that's when it becomes a sin. When you're going, instead of going to God, you're saying, well, let me go ahead and smoke so I don't have to worry about this issue.
Exactly.
Let me go ahead and drink
Yeah.
so I don't have to deal with this. That's when it becomes an issue. So I'm not saying that these things are technically write-off sins. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying if it replaces God, which let's be honest, the majority of the people who smoke every day or all day or can't even function without smoking, that is their God. It's the
Mhm.
same thing as alcohol. When I had an issue and I would drink myself into because I don't want to deal with my issue, things like that. The bottle has now become my God. I'm looking to it instead of looking to God. So that's where the difference is. So I'm not saying that, people who but if it's your God, it's your God. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So, I mean, and I'm not just, it could be anything. It could be shopping. Like y'all said, it could be shopping can be your God. It could be, anything that replaces God is eating. Yeah, exactly. Sleeping, like Dr. Toya said. You know what I'm saying? When these things replace God, then that's when it is a sin. Because that is now your God. Even my wife, I talk about when my wife was my God, where I was more concerned about her and her opinion than I was of God's. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, nah, and even that can be a God, or a man can be your God, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anyway. Hey, well, for Chef Dennis' judgment. Sorry, my bad.
I don't think anybody gonna say
I'm messing with you, Chef Dennis. All right, I know.
But
judgment. Oh no, judgment can be anything can be.
No, I said judgmental.
You are judgmental.
Nah.
But God is delivering you on it. I feel like it's a temptation that you struggle with.
Nah.
God is delivering you on it. Huh?
He loves to be tempted. He's tempted and judging. That's what he's doing.
Hey, Rodney,
Lady T, you remember when he used to get on that high horse? You can see him do it. You can see him walk, get on his throne, put on his robe.
That's how you felt. That's how you felt. That's it. Nobody else did that.
Now you've been doing. Hey, Chef Dennis, it's been a while. But back in the day when I first came on this show, you used to be like people's court this joint. You'd be like,
Hey, Rodney, but nobody
don't.
The response in the comments that I get, that it wasn't that. They didn't get that. So that's how you felt. You felt that way.
I don't know, Chef. I don't know.
I always send you the comments. I always anybody say something.
I've seen the change, Chef. You've gotten better. I don't care what you say. You may not want to admit it, but I know you've gotten better. Where you try not to hop on that high horse. His whole personality changed when it's about to happen, don't it, Lady T? You can see it. You can see it right in this. You can see, you get all happy, and then next thing you know, you better read your Bible or you're going to hell. If you don't read the Bible,
as long as you know me on this show, you ain't never tell. I ain't never seen you going to hell ever.
You will not be in the glory of God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm like, hold on. How you gonna tell somebody how they worship? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. You don't worship. He used to get on me. Oh, you can't, you ain't got no rhythm. That's the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we gonna have to get up on it. We gonna have to get up on it. I say he had no rhythm. Hey man, stop.
Oh man.
Stop the nonsense, man. Well,
you know what? I'm so happy I woke up.
Yeah.
Came, hung out with Lady T and Dr. Toya, man. You notice I just mentioned them too.
You know what? The bad thing about it, I just like see how I let it go. That's how I do. Yeah, my attitude was bad back in the day when I was in my 30s. I quick to punch him in the face. That's it. I was quick. Tee off on you real quick. You say wasn't slick with what?
I can see it.
So would you have to do to fight that temptation? That's another temptation.
Yeah, I the renewal of my mind. Seriously, real talk. The renewal of my mind, like just being around, God, just going to church, being around other people, and just going to different functions, revivals, just being around people that's
Strong in the Lord.
Women pastors and apostles.
Hold on, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I knew I was gonna get you.
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute.
And let's see. I was gonna get her. I knew. Got him.
Yeah. I remember when you would walk out the church if a woman got up there and started preaching.
No, it was, apostles. So I've been around like a lot of people like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so just been. The one thing I didn't really struggle with was profanity. Like, and you know what? Growing up, I'm not gonna say
you still didn't listen. You still didn't say what you do when you faced with that temptation when you want to punch somebody in the mouth like you used to do?
I just told. I'm telling you, this is
No. When you faced with this,
I don't know. I don't struggle with that.
I'm saying when you're faced with wanting to punch somebody in the mouth, you know, because it all comes to us, each individual. When somebody approached you and try to what I say, I always say, poke the bear. Okay, they like to poke the bear, especially when they feel like you're a Christian and they feel like you super saved. Right. So, or you got a cape on your back that got the C on there, JC. You know, they ready to poke the bear. Okay. And then how do you handle that temptation so you won't punch somebody in the mouth?
All right. So how I overcame that temptation is that I said I was around a lot of people of God. So I overcame that because I was saturated. And you know what? I didn't think about it. I could walk away. It happened. It happened recently. I'm able to walk away because I'm like, you know what?
So that's what you do. You walk away.
I walk away. I'll be like, yo, listen, if I know it's real serious, I say, you ain't getting the victory over here. Be out. Get up out of here. See, I talk like that. So yeah, that's how I do.
So okay, you walk
definitely
away.
Does.
Huh? What'd you say?
You start talking in the workplace about weapons and no weapon formed against me, and then start questioning it. Weapon? What a weapon? He bring a weapon in?
Yeah. That's how I get. That's how I do it. I'll be like, okay, what? Oh, okay. God said he'll make my enemies my footstool. Okay, yeah, what? All right. Yeah, that's how I do it. I'm not. I ain't
okay. I just want to know.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? You missed those episodes, Lady T. That's why she brought it up. Yeah, that's what I do. I say, I see you. I see you trying to destroy. You ain't coming over here. Be it.
So every once in a while, the old Chef Dennis don't pop up. You ain't gotta say an extra prayer.
Nah.
Be like,
really?
you know.
It don't.
I'm being real because you know what? And then not only that, you know what? I don't put myself in those situations. I don't even be in those type of environments. So I'll be like, yeah, you know what?
Situations come to you sometimes like that.
So I'll be like this. I see it when it's coming. I ain't trying to be funny and serious. When I see that coming, I'll be like, let me get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Over my life, like I've been in the club scene. I see when something about to pop off. I'm out of here before it pop off. They shooting in the club. I find out, yo, did you went such last night? Nah, I was out here like 11 o'clock. Yeah, they was shooting in this. I'm gone. So it's that like those little incidents. That's how I do now. I'll be like, hold up, let me get up out of here. Let me walk up out of here. I see this dude about to start acting stupid. Let me go ahead. He looked like he about to wild out. So you know, that's it.
Well, I repent. What I'll do is I'll cuss you out and then repent afterwards and be like, Lord, forgive me. That's what I do. So I know that that temptation about cussing people and cussing all the time, it's gonna come. Like it has to. It's just a natural thing. It will grow out of me, you know, with time. Naturally, as I get older, I'll become a little bit more different. But right now, I repent. I'll be like, I'm sorry, Lord. But it came out because it came out.
So are you winning more of those battles or losing more of those battles right now?
I'm losing a lot lately because of my patience and, you know, with foolishness going on right now. But I'm being honest, you know, that I am losing it. But I'll be like praying on it. Like, God, you know, my heart, you know, I really want to do better. And I really don't want to be that woman. I want to be different. You know, I want to speak in a different way and, you know, be more loving. I'll speak to the Lord with my heart and he understands my heart, right? That's what I truly believe because I'm speaking out of my heart. And I kind of like let it go. I'm not gonna sit up here and be mad at myself, put myself down.
Dun. I saw the ring. Here it comes. He couldn't even hold it back. He was like, dun. He got up there. He was like, hello. Look, dun. And let the judgment begin.
Hey, no. What I was gonna say to you, late teams, I feel you though. I feel that because you know what? That's how I used to be. I used to be like, oh, okay, let me go say what I'm going to say. And then I used to be like, come back and say, Lord, forgive me, right? But what I was going to say is like, let me get serious now. Is that the environment? You got to remember, like, if you're not around those type of people, right, you can't be tempted.
I disagree with you. Life is all about bringing chaos to you. You know, it comes to you.
Oh, what you mean? Oh,
I mean,
chaos don't come to you.
It does. It does. Sometimes, like, you can walk into a place and chaos will be there for you to have to observe and pay attention to or react to. And sometimes you can just turn away and walk away. But sometimes it's right in your face.
Hey.
Like let's say somebody took your parking space, right? And they or no. Let's say you took somebody's parking space and they cuss you out, right? You could respond with cussing them back,
right?
Or you could be like, have a good day, right? It's up to you how you're going to respond, but it comes to you. That's my point.
There you go. That
was a terrible example, but
that actually it was good. You have the right to respond to that in a righteous way. Like, you know what? God bless you. You don't. All right, you got to work on that. But before, hold on, Rodney. And you know what? Let me show you something though. I used to. Now you talk about tempted, Dr. Toya. I used to respond to idiots that's doing something wrong to a person. I used to be like that, right? It just happened to me again. And God just like humbled me. I was in the pizzeria eating my lunch. Yo, this young black guy came in there. I think I told y'all this, bro. Didn't I tell you this before, Lady T?
Yeah.
Listen, I was burning up on the inside. He came in there. He told the black guy, it was a white guy. He told the black guy, he said, yo, hurry up and get out of my way. I'm trying to order some pizza. I was eating him up. He looked at me. He ain't say nothing to me. But I wanted to say something so bad. But God said, no, don't say nothing. Because I said, yo, man, shut up. Shut your butt. Let him finish the order. But I didn't. Because you talk about the old me? That's the old me. Because I'd be like, yo, shut up. You talking to him. He ain't say nothing wrong to you. But I didn't. I just ate. I put my head down and just ate. And he said something to me right now. Now I ain't trying to be funny. He looked at me. It was two black guys. He looked at me. He said, enjoy your lunch. I said, this dude, man, go come in here like that. I was like, yo, because imagine if I'd have said something, I probably would have beat him up in this righteous body.
All right. Oh man, I had a point, but I lost.
Oh, my bad, right? No, but Doc T, I'm serious. That you talking about?
Now I know what it was. Yeah. And T, I'm just going to tell you something that I do, that I practice, and this was through therapy. Therapy taught me that I'm in control of everything, and there's always that split second right before you curse somebody out that you say to yourself, "I'm going to curse them out." There's always that split second right before that, and I've started, and I took the time, but it took me to have to really pay attention to that split second and decide not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, which was, because I mean, trust me, Lady T, there was some times where I was like, nah, I'm good with it, and kept on and go and did what I had to say. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I just decided that I was like, I want to be different. Like, I don't want to come to that temptation, you know what I'm saying, anymore. You know, because it wasn't, one, it wasn't healthy for me. Two, I couldn't control it, because if I did it there, I was going to do it at home. I was going to do it at work. I was going to do it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yeah, you know, and sometimes, and then I realized that it wasn't the example that I wanted to be anymore. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. So you got, you know, I hear you saying that you ask for forgiveness, but you got to have that I guess you would say come to Jesus moment with yourself, where you say, you know what, I'm really going to change that. I'm really going to stop. Like, but I'm done.
You don't remember me saying I enjoy it. I enjoy having those moments in life, because it feels like I am full of life. Because that, like, cursing, I grew up around cursing, and cursing was like our natural way of communicating. It was an endearment thing, you know. It was a you know, hey, yo, what's up? You know, our talk, my talk, and I enjoyed it. It felt like it was love, because it wasn't malicious, it wasn't nasty. And so my cursing has been something that I've had to stop doing for other people, not for me. I do it for other people because a lot of people do not want to hear you curse. You know,
So when you cursing these people out, you cursing them out in love. That's what you're trying to convince me. It's an endearment thing.
when I curse, I feel like I'm enjoying it. So immediately that
but
for you.
is your intent
right.
is your intent love? That's what I'm just
But
curious.
that is what I'm saying. My love is there with the cursing.
No, your love is for cursing. That ain't the right love. They don't go together. That ain't
hilarious. That's a pure enjoyment for her.
Yeah.
I love language.
But that goes back to the greatest thing that the devil has done is convinced us that sin is normal.
Is
to convince us, huh?
Is that sin when you curse?
Cursing someone out in anger or what you call it is a sin. That is a sin.
I'm not cursing out. How about cursing? Like if I say the F word, right? If I say, not forget the F word, right? And I'll say it in a way it was like, forget you, but I say it in the way that it's not received. People get into their feelings and they got to respond. But it's basically saying, forget you.
Now, if you said the F word and you was like, I was talking like me, I'm talking to my wife, and like, hey, we about to, after this date, we going in the room and we going,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's different.
That's different.
But it's still not the
it's still the word.
You still can use better words. It still can be used better words. But if you telling somebody F you and blah, 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 that's a sin. Yeah, that is a sin.
I don't know about that, but okay. Thank you, Rodney. Okay. I appreciate it. I don't know if it's a sin, though.
You're the one that preach love.
Hey, I do, but every now and then
constantly preach love.
I do.
And then you're going to tell me telling somebody F you is in love?
No, what I'm saying is, I am being honest. I am a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm telling you that love wants to be there, but cursing is also on the side saying, give me my space because you love me too. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you some space and I'm going to say what I like to say with you, but we're going to, change a little bit. It's going to be with time, because I'll get out of this way.
I'm sure you will. Nah, I love you. It's all good. Yeah, I will enjoy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. When we go out on our double date, I would enjoy you cursing somebody out. I'll be the one cheering with you. But,
I'm going to be real nice.
Wait in the world. What's going on? You going to encourage that?
I said I would enjoy it.
Yeah. He would
you wouldn't say,
Dr. T, thank you for that.
I would like to see Lady T in her natural state.
That is a scripture that is very true. That is the reason why the conviction of it is in my heart. So that is, I speak it. But I also tell y'all that thorn in my flesh is real, and I love it in a way because I have to. It's something about that in my flesh that I have to learn how to say, I honor you. We were good to each other, and even though we were good to each other in the past, we're going to have to change. I'm looking at that as that. You get what I'm trying to say? Right?
I love it.
Y'all understand me?
I get what you're trying to say. I accept it.
Yeah, we gonna get out of here.
All right.
But the crazy part is this. T. You know what? As the enemy walk and he seeks who he may devour, right? Or destroy, right? The crazy part is this. He know who he can test and who he can't. He watch your weakness.
You say he know who he can test and who he can't. He tests
everybody.
Attack. He'll attack everybody. If he had attack you on his side.
The point that I'm making, he only can attack where you weak at. Where you weak at, right? Where you weak at.
Yeah, attack where you're strong at too.
No, he know he can't beat you there. When you strong there, he know he can't beat you there. He
he played a long game, bro.
Huh?
The long game.
Yeah.
It's still an attack. You always on attack. That's why you got to put on. That's why you got to put on the armor.
Yes, it's always a soft spot.
There you go. It's a soft spot. There is a weakness, and so in your weakness, that's where he attacks. He don't attack when you're strong. He don't listen. He's not going to attack your chest right from the front. You know, you got the armor on. He know it. But guess what? On the side, there's a space that's open, that's vulnerable.
That crack.
And there you go. So he not coming where you strong at. He coming where you weak at. He said, oh, you can't hold your mouth, right? I got you. That's when somebody come in the store, in the supermarket, be walking in grocery store, and then next thing you know, they bump you, and they do it intentionally. They be like this, boom, and you be like, mother effer. But see, you got to be like, God bless you. I know God's watching you, and keep it moving.
I'm not that bad.
You're a dog.
I'm not like that. I am a loving person. I'm very loving. Why y'all laughing?
You a Gemini? What are you?
Hey man, listen, we gonna get up out of here and listen, guys.
I feel like I'm talking to two different people. like
we gonna see y'all tomorrow.
The other second is
we gonna see y'all tomorrow.
I just like saying F. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like what?
Oh man. Listen, guys.
Oh Lord.
Man, look, I love it. I love it. See them cheekbones is he's shining right now. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, look. Let me see.
Yep, she got them. She got the cheekbones up too. She's looking like, what is they doing?
You better stop. Them men gonna be lining up in Dr. Toya's DMs. They're gonna be like, if your husband start acting up,
they
you can move to the left or whatever. What was her saying? No, what was her saying? It's either give it to. Nah, you said something about if he will, somebody won't, or something.
Yeah. One wheel, one wheel.
Yeah, one wheel. Yeah, that's gonna be the head of the DM later on tonight.
Like, I will.
Yeah, I will.
Mm-hmm. All right,
I will.
It's been lovely. Listen, we're gonna get out of here. Listen, guys, be blessed. Know that guys loved you. Make sure you pray for somebody tonight. Peace. Y'all got my stomach hurt.